What's going on, guys? It's Lark here. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. Why? Because I haven't done a Bitcoin video in like 5 or 6 days, and of course Bitcoin is the coin, so we got to talk about it, guys. Now today we're going to be talking about, of course, the all-time price highs that happened over the weekend. We're going to be talking about what's happening over in Dubai, bubbles, what's happening in Russia, and of course the latest exciting news from Genesis Mining. So, before we get into all that, quick shout out to everyone who has been liking the videos, guys, and subscribing to the channel down below. I really appreciate all that support, guys, so thank you so much. And quick disclaimer, of course, this is not professional financial advice. This is just one man and his passion for all things crypto-related on the internet. So, let's have a look at it. Today, we are at $4,585.57. Nice, not bad. But over the weekend, we hit 5,000, guys. Coindesk recorded that we were up over $5,000 for about 10 minutes in trading. That's pretty exciting, guys. It's pretty exciting. It's happened, you know. This is like losing your virginity or something, you know. Once it's happened once, you kind of want to do it again and again, and then it's you know, all right, this is the normal thing now. All right, cool. So, look, we're going to be back on 5,000 pretty soon. And from there, the road is wide open, guys. The road is wide open. So we're going to see big price action on Bitcoin before the end of the year. You know, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit with Bitcoin. There are so many new people buying Bitcoin every day. There are so many new people getting involved. Everyone's getting involved. Hedge funds, banks, people in the US, people in China, people in Africa. Everyone's getting involved. Your grandma's getting involved. Your grandma's probably got more Bitcoin than you. So, guys, it's going off. And the thing is, because the supply is so low and the demand is so high, the price is going to keep moving. Now, I did want to quickly mention Dubai. Dubai is aiming to become the blockchain fintech hub of the Middle East. Pretty exciting stuff. So they're looking to make their city fully blockchain compatible within the next few years here, which is pretty exciting, you know, getting all the paperwork and land registry and all this stuff whacked onto the blockchain. Fantastic. They've just done a partnership with Hong Kong Exchange in order to, you know, try and bring that vision forward. Not 100% crypto related, but, or sorry, not 100% Bitcoin related, but I did want to mention this about Dubai as well. This is a property development project where they are accepting Bitcoin in payment for the apartments. So one apartment in this sweet building here will cost you about 30 Bitcoin for a standard apartment. Not too bad of a deal, to be honest, especially if you're one of those people who bought your Bitcoin back when it was, you know, $5 or $6. You're getting an apartment for like $150. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. However, guys, the one thing, I don't know, would I buy an apartment using my Bitcoin someday? Maybe not in Dubai though. But the big thing with Bitcoin is the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost. You guys ever heard about the guy who spent 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas? The world's most expensive pizza ever. So this happened a few years ago, and the article itself is old. I'll give you guys the price update on what 10,000 Bitcoins is worth today. But this is a lesson. This is a lesson right here. I hope this guy had more than 10,000 Bitcoin. He's held on to the other, you know, 20,000 he had or something like that. And man, that pizza guy, that guy's closed his pizza restaurant and moved to Jamaica or something, man, I tell you. But that 10,000 Bitcoin, which in 2010 was only worth 2 pizzas, is now worth almost $46 million. So that is a lesson to think about when you think about these apartments. Would this apartment, you buy it for 30 Bitcoin today, in 5 years the apartment's only gone up maybe slightly in value, whereas the Bitcoin is now worth, you know, 10 times as much. There's a lot of opportunity costs to be thought of when making major purchases like this using Bitcoin. So that's something to keep in mind there, guys. Something to keep in mind. So, now, that being said, because of the massive rise of Bitcoin, this article is a bit old, but I did want to mention this since we were talking about the exponential price rise in Bitcoin. People have been adding Bitcoin to their retirement portfolio. So imagine you want to retire, right? Everyone wants to retire at some point. You buy 1 Bitcoin today, You put it on a hardware wallet or a paper wallet or something like that. You put it in a safe deposit box in the bank. Boom. Come back in 35 years and pick it up. That Bitcoin may be worth millions by that point. It may be one of the best investments you could make for a retirement portfolio. Here in the Bitcoin community, we always just talk about, oh my God, what's the price going to be by the end of the year? What's the price going to be in 2 or 3 years? Imagine what the price of Bitcoin is going to be like in 30 years. Just stop and think about that for a second. We had a 7.6 times price increase from this time last year, approximately. That's huge. Imagine if that kind of growth continues, or even if that growth slows and it's only growing by 2 or 3 times a year. Still, it's going to be massive. It's going to be absolutely massive, guys. That one Bitcoin might be worth literally millions of dollars in 20 or 30 years. Food for thought before you run off and spend 10,000 Bitcoin to buy a couple pizzas, eh? Okay, moving on. Now, there has been a lot of talk about a bubble, If you turn on the regular news, I don't know who does this, but some people do, nevertheless. If you turn on the news, or you look over to Twitter, or you look over to different places, there's a lot of guys who are saying, Bitcoin's in a bubble, it's going to pop, everyone's going to lose all their money. Right? Guys like this. This is actually a pretty interesting interview if you want to come over and listen to it. But, yeah, there's a lot of people who have been talking about this. Peter Schiff, he's on there again saying that Bitcoin's a bubble, it's going to pop. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Here, another article from Forbes. Bitcoin's a bubble, it's going to pop. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Everything's going to explode. One thing that I see is people like, not necessarily Forbes, but the big banks, Goldman Sachs, these different organizations. I feel like they're just paying these guys to go out there and talk about this. Why? Because they want fear in the market. They want people to sell their Bitcoin so that their hedge funds and their banks can go in and buy them up at lower prices. I wouldn't be surprised, guys. That might be a bit too conspiracy theory for some of you, but this is how the markets work. They pump stuff. They put fear in the market in order to get things at lower prices. This is what these big banks do all the time. So I wouldn't listen to the hype from these guys. Another guy came out, was that some shill guy. He produced Schiller. That's right. He's a shill the Schiller. Schiller the shill. He came out a few years ago, accurately predicted a housing bubble, and now he's, the go-to guy for bubbles. Anyway, I don't know. There's definitely a lot of fear and speculation in that regard, but, these people who don't even really understand the technology or what Bitcoin represents, I wouldn't really take their word as gospel. But you have been seeing a lot of that around in the past few days after that 20% price crash we saw the other day. You have had a lot of people saying, hey, Bitcoin's a bubble, it's going to burst, everyone's going to lose all their money. I don't think so, guys. I think we're only going up from here. This guy here, Bitcoin is the new gold. Bitcoin is the new gold. Now, I bring you this because look at the 12-month performance on gold versus the 12-month performance on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 1,000%, and gold's down slightly. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Hey, look, gold's got its real-world uses. You got a phone, you probably got a little bit of gold in there. But that being said, Bitcoin as a long-term investment is massive, guys. Absolutely massive. This is the performance of exchange-traded gold to Bitcoin. So you can see here as it goes up and up and up and up and up. In fact, Bitcoin will now be more traded than gold. Now, the overall value of global gold is $7.8 trillion, which is a lot. Right now, Bitcoin's only worth about, 70-some billion dollars. So it's much lower than, even a percentage of that at the current rate. But if you imagine to the point where Bitcoin gets to be like 10% of that global gold store, that is when you see the $500,000 Bitcoin. And considering the supply is so low, wouldn't be surprising if we saw that in a few years. Really, really wouldn't be, guys. We're such a great opportunity in history. Anyone who's getting involved in Bitcoin now stands to gain so massively moving forward. This is an article. Stock market analysts see Bitcoin hitting 20,000 within 3 years. Again, the speculation ranges wildly from, very conservative estimates. Yeah, 20,000 in 3 years. John McAfee comes out and says, no, it's going to be $500,000 in 3 years. Maybe the answer is somewhere in the middle. But even if it is somewhere in the middle, good God, you can buy a Bitcoin today, $4,500 in 3 years, it's going to be worth $20,000. Nothing will give you that kind of returns. Go put your money in a bank. You put $5,000 in today, you're gonna have like $5,050 at the end of the year or something. It's shockingly low, shockingly low investment returns. This is just a quick note. There are 10 million customers on Coinbase now. Why don't you stop and think about that for a minute? 21 million Bitcoin, 10 million customers. That's just on Coinbase, guys. Just on Coinbase. We're not talking about exchanges in Australia. We're not talking about exchanges in Hong Kong. We're not talking about exchanges in South Korea, in Japan, in China, and all around the rest of the world. This is just Coinbase. If you don't think the price is going to spike as demand increases, you're not watching the markets, because it is absolutely going to explode here, guys. Bitcoin is far from being in a bubble. It is absolutely going to pop in the very near future. It's just going up and up and up. Like I said, we're going to be back over 5,000 pretty soon. Pretty soon. John McAfee here making his case for why Bitcoin is not actually a bubble. It's actually the future of money, guys. And while Bitcoin may not be the day-to-day money, it may be the store of value. If somebody had come to you, I don't know, in the year 1000 BC and said, hey, we got this gold thing, it's going to be a way of storing value in the future, you want to invest in that? Nah, that's fine, I'm just going to keep my rocks. Guys, get invested in it. Get invested in it if you haven't got invested in Bitcoin yet. And if you are invested in Bitcoin, guys, keep investing in it because it's going to pop. Absolutely going to pop. Russian authorities have arrested 3 men for illegal Bitcoin sales. The illegal Bitcoin sales is one of the important parts in this. Russia is clamping down a little bit on Bitcoin. They don't want regular people to have Bitcoin. They want to be able to trade it on the exchanges. And they've just raised, I think it was $65 million for the Russian Bitcoin mining company. And they are going to try and capture about 30% of the global Bitcoin mining hash rate. So watch out for that to happen, guys. But it's a tricky legal situation. It goes up and down in Russia, You can use Bitcoin, you can't use Bitcoin. It's only for the exchanges, it's only for the elites. Disturbing situations. Okay. And of course, this one here might enforce ban on Bitcoin mining in residential places. I can't believe that. That's crazy. That is crazy. It's just a proposal at the moment, but wow, can you imagine that? The only people who are allowed to mine Bitcoin is the state, sort of, the oligarch who was able to get all the money for the Russian Bitcoin mining company that they've just started. Regular people, you're not included. That sucks. That sucks. Of course, that'd be really hard to enforce, but nevertheless, they are trying to criminalize the mining of Bitcoin in residential houses. Yeah, that's not cool. And of course, a little bit of news from New Zealand. I forgot to mention this at the start. A little bit of news from New Zealand. Professor from Auckland University calling out for government to regulate Bitcoin and Ethereum, because there are very, very little to no regulation at the moment here in New Zealand. So it's coming, guys. Regulation coming to a country near you very soon. And of course, final news for the day, guys. We finally got there. Genesis Mining has got open-ended Bitcoin mining contracts back, but it's a pre-sale only. They are not launching them until the 31st of October. You can buy now, but you don't get it until later. So that is a very important thing to keep in mind. If you're going to come over here and buy this, you're not going to get it immediately, guys. But it is still $150 a terahash, guys. $150 a terahash. Absolutely killer. $1,400 if you buy 10 terahash, so you start to get a discount there. If you buy 20 terahash, the price goes down even more. So amazing deal over here, guys. Genesis Mining, of course, has been the best in the business as far as, getting people paid out and, keeping their prices low. I don't know if when the 31st of October, maybe the prices will go up a little bit, but definitely that pre-sale is $150, guys. So it's really, really awesome. I'm going to be doing 5 upgrades here using you guys as codes. So we'll do the first one here. Who's up first? Nicholas Liao. Hope I say a last name right, dude. Copy that over there. Whack the promo code in here. Gonna validate that. That is awesome. 3% discount. I need to send 0.361 Bitcoin, Litecoin over here. That's just going there. Request is being processed. Oh, there we go. I'll have to come back and try that again. Anyway, that is all right, guys. I'm going to be giving upgrades to Nicholas, Jonathan, Brandon and Lisa, Ryan, and Kildong Kim. So you 5 guys are all going to get a little upgrade here in the next few minutes. I'll just have to try that again. Sometimes you do have to hit it a few times. The demand's pretty high, so the system can't always keep up, I suppose. But guys, get in there and get some of those Bitcoin mining contracts before they do expire, because this is just a pre-sale, and I'm sure that they will sell out in the near future. So, you know, get it while it's going, guys. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to give you all that information. Quick roundup on the news and Bitcoin. A lot going on, as always, in our crypto space, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. That's all from the Crypto Lark. Long live the blockchain. And peace out till next time.